Yeah. It's something you are going to want to know personally.
Let's just remove you from frame there. Cool beans.
Kurt Cobain's.
Hello, everyone. It's a podcast, the Friends Talking Games podcast.
No, it's not.
Um, I've just been informed that everything I know is a lie.
No, it's not.
This is at the very least a recording
This is a poop cast because it's shitty.
Well then,
Poopcast.
Yeah.
Gotta make a poopcast.
on this poopcast, we talk about games.
Is that what this is about?
I don't know, Ian. You tell me. You've apparently
No.
informed me everything on this.
It's a poop cast. And it's me, Poop Butt.
Is that your name?
Yeah, I'm having a great time with this.
Hey, well, my name is Austin, and join with us
And-
today. We have a very special guest, the Ritz Cracker Rapper,
Hey there.
which is being uncrinkled as we speak.
And I, Poop Butt.
Again, yep. Once more with the we have.
No, it's another poop butt. There's two of them.
Oh God,
What?
the likes of this have never been seen since the planets aligned.
So apparently, everything I know about this podcast is a lie. It's not a podcast, and I'm not talking to my friends. I'm talking to beings called poop butts, and there's multiple of them. All right.
Beings. We're beings.
I mean, I don't know what else to call you. You're talking at me.
I'm Ian, and
Hi, Ian.
Hi,
Yeah.
tits.
it's me.
That's true.
Sorry, I had something, but it's not my place.
Welcome, Ian.
Hello. Ian.
Yay!
Hi, Ian.
Hi, Ian.
It's been a minute,
Yay!
Ian.
It has been a minute. Not necessarily a quick minute, but
A hot minute?
How long?
yeah, hot. I would say it's been a hot minute.
It's been a hot minute.
It's been quite a hot minute.
It's hot minute in hell on my screen right now.
No, oh
Yeah.
no.
Got a picture of hell up. It's fine though. And then we have somebody else with us as well. Another lurker. In the shadows.
Hello, I'm another lurker.
There we go.
Who is that? Deep in the boonies we see off in the distance.
It's another poop butt.
Yeah.
They won't quit. I think it's an invasion.
It's certainly an invasion. Once there became multiple of them. Alright.
We need a lot of fucking toilet paper.
So you guys had some news that you said
yeah.
affected
News
me.
right off the presses.
Yeah.
Hot off the presses from yesterday.
What's this hot news?
Okay, what is it? VG24 or whatever that V24, whatever that website is, posted an article
I don't know what you're talking about.
yesterday. Yesterday about 3:00 Western time. There was a Rainbow Six team having fun doing their thing. They creamed a team, like absolutely destroyed a team on PS4. Apparently, the other team was very upset about this, or at least one of the people on the team was really upset about this. What ended up happening was this member on the enemy team sent every single player that won a message with a string of characters in a specific order that ended up bricking their PS4.
Wait, what?
Like, and that the way the message was set up with the characters in a specific order caused a glitch in the PS4 to, even if you just got the notification, you didn't open it or anything. Just having it on your PS4 would take um, it would basically automatically hard reset your PS4, so you would lose everything on your PS4. But the only person that it didn't happen to, the only person it didn't affect was the person who had their messages on friends only or no one. So their messages were private. So only their friends or no one can send them messages.
Can you
Only
send me the
person who
link
get
to
affected
this?
by it.
Like, what's this article?
There's a Polygon article.
Yep.
Wow. How does one obtain these this string of characters? Is it just like it's gotta be something?
Yeah, here. Polygon released an article an hour ago. Perfect.
It'll take you to the PS4 forums where you can read more about it from the users that this has actually happened.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sending me a link?
Trying to. Yeah, there we go. Copy.
Yeah, trying to.
Working on it.
Boom. And what
I
they
like the
mean by
sound
bricking the console is turning the console into basically just a brick.
Can you hear my crackers?
I don't know. Reaching for another cracker.
The weirdest part is that Sony hasn't said anything about this.
Yeah.
There's no official statement from Sony.
Which is
Well, when did this happen? Was it last night?
yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday.
Okay, yesterday, like morning.
Yesterday afternoon, about.
Oh, okay, never mind. This was reported this morning.
Yeah, it was reported this morning, but I saw the first of it yesterday morning.
Sorry, Miles is causing chaos with Ritz. It's impressive.
What?
He's waiting for absolute silence before taking a bite of his Ritz crackers. We've determined that the crunch is audible.
We must not let it happen.
What?
Damn it,
Constantly
it
make sounds?
happened.
Then it goes silent.
Yeah.
No more silence. Silence.
It cannot happen.
Okay, so finally on the article. But it's a lot of words, and you just explained this to me, so I'm not going to read that. Glad I had you send that to me. Thanks, man.
This is a lot of words. Is that what you just said? Do you
It is
not
a lot of
read?
words. I'm not going to read on the podcast while you just explain to me the short version of it. It's just going to waste so much time.
Well, I mean, that's fair. But still.
It's like this morning. Oh God, that's boring. Next.
Just stop. Stop. Where's the TLDR?
Ugh.
All right, good talk. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What,
So the reason that affects you personally is you are gonna want to fucking do that. Even though
Right.
you don't play on PS4, it can still just happen.
I'm going to want to do what? I don't follow.
You're gonna want to set your messages.
messaging. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, to set your messages to friends only, so only friends can send you messages. Or
Unless
else,
you want to live life on the edge.
yeah,
mean-
unless you too want to risk your PS4 being hard reset.
Yeah.
It matters a little bit less for you because you don't have a lot of stuff on there. You would
That's
just have to
true.
literally reinstall every game you have installed on there. But for me or Anna, even though we have cloud stuff, we have like 9 to 10 games at all times loaded on our PS4, and especially for Anna, that would probably take around a month to re-download all of them.
That's
Yeah.
fucking scary.
It wouldn't take me too long, but it's also something that I don't fucking want to do.
Also, all your saves would be gone. All your
Yeah,
other stuff,
unless unless you
pictures,
automatically
video
saved it all
things.
to the cloud. So it's definitely a problem.
All right, good to know. Will do. That's some scary business.
Yeah, it is.
So did every
All
single
right.
person on the enemy team get their all their shit erased?
On all except one who had their messages on private. That's why that seems to be the solving thing.
Huh. Okay.
At least until Sony actually fucking does something about it.
Beans.
Yeah. So that
Alright.
was I had more like news, but that seemed to overshadow a lot.
I don't really have any news or questions this time around.
We can move directly into what we played.
We
Miles
could.
and I just played a VST last night for
That's good.
the third
I think I
time.
saw that uploaded. No, that wasn't what you uploaded.
I uploaded the second time yesterday morning, but the third time we streamed yesterday. Some good shit.
Yeah, if you look on my channel, I also believe I have the first 2 parts uploaded.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tiny Head.
Am I even in there yet?
Yeah, you're the tiny head. Just eating your chips down there. Tiny head in the hand. That's all it takes. That's 1 Miles.
So is that... Oh, go ahead.
Other than that, I don't know if you guys are following me on YouTube, if you are subscribed at all, but I'm playing New Vegas now. I'm actually
Yep, I am
terrified
subscribed.
because last night I was trying to, just load a save, and the loading screen never loaded the save. And I turned off my Xbox, did a lot of different things, but a lot of monumental things happened in the game. Like a lot of choices I made just changed a lot of stuff around. So I feel like the game's just having a hard time processing how perfect I've lined certain things up. So,
Your problem was
literally.
playing. Yeah, I get you. I think your problem was playing on the 360.
No, I'm playing on wow. I'm playing on Xbox One.
You were
Oh,
about to say
well,
PS4.
that's also the problem. I don't know why, but Xbox One has a problem with that type of stuff.
Yeah.
It does. I was
Well,
telling him once
Fallout
it
New
happened.
Vegas.
That's the first thing I suspect is it's happening because it's an Xbox One and you're playing a 360 game. It's just
Well, Fallout New Vegas has always been infamously glitchy. So
true.
That is true. That is true. It could also be Bethesda being fucking lazy, like they are. There's
Yeah.
just there are so many see, it's weird because when it comes to the Fallout or the Elder Scrolls series, I feel like Bethesda's so lazy they could fix so much of the problems that they have and they just fucking decide not to. Like it's like going in I was watching rewatching the Super Best Friends play Fallout 4 because it's a particularly hilarious episode. And as soon as the game pops up, Matt just says, "I expect no bugs," and then starts laughing and says, "Why would you ever expect that?" They just, I get it. It's a big open world, but also people make bigger, more crazier open worlds that have less bugs.
True.
But also Bethesda makes really good games that don't have a lot of bugs, like Evil Within 1 and 2. They don't have a lot of bugs.
Also true.
Yeah.
They don't have a lot of game-breaking bugs. They have bugs here and there, but they're graphical glitches and whatnot, but not
See,
fucking oh, I can't load my game anymore.
and I think that's why it's more of the experience for me. It's more of nostalgia's sake than anything else. Because I was playing these games when like quality didn't really matter as much. Like just being able to be in an open world like Fallout 3 and not really know what was going on. Like I don't know. It's like it's an experience I want to come back to, and now that I can record, I want to come back to that. Despite like how to this day it's still incredibly glitchy, like things that I couldn't control in Fallout 3 while recording that I just kind of had to deal with. Like one of my favorite moments was I was launching a mini nuke, and as soon as the tip like touched the ground, the game froze. It just wouldn't explode. Had to like turn off the Xbox. So it's like it's worth it because of the experience and like the universe that they create. I actually really like it, but it's difficult when it's you're getting so into the lore and then like it's something unlike the lore that ruins it, which is just
An NPC spawns underwater, so you can't talk to them ever.
exactly.
Oblivion may be the biggest biggest pile of garbage I've ever played, but it's still one of my
Exactly.
favorite open world games.
Exactly. Yeah. I was showing Austin, there's tons of like 19-second clips of just like Oblivion dialogues where it's just like they'll contradict themselves or like someone will say something and then die hilariously. Because yeah, it's
Or
just a
like
broken game, but it's beautiful.
you go to talk to someone and their head is just fucking gone
Yeah,
because
or spinning.
it's yeah, or
For
spinning. I
sure.
like it. I like there was one for Fallout 4 where they looked back and the dude's head was just gone because a Deathclaw ripped it off, and then the Deathclaw eats the player character.
Yeah, it's great.
One of my favorite ones from Oblivion is when you started talking to someone and then they just kind of start walking away.
Yep.
They're just disengaging. Nope, nope, nope.
They're very determined to walk to a random spot to stand before they walk back to where they were.
Do they ever eventually talk to you? Like if you follow them for long enough? Or are they just perpetually on the
You'll be
move?
stuck in you'll be stuck in the dialogue options, but the
While
character
they just
like the
walk
character
away.
model won't be there. It'll just
Oh.
walk away.
He's like, I got stuff to do. If you want to stay and chat, my voice will stay here.
Which is really funny because whenever you talk to someone, the rest of the world freezes except for like that player model.
Yeah.
Right.
So you can see people frozen in the background and that other player model just kind of walks away.
This is great. I'm catching up on so much stuff while the time is frozen.
Maybe they know this exploit and are trying to stop time by talking to the player character.
How long can you how long can you move in the frozen time?
That's
I
the
could
real
tell
question.
the player character a bunch of shitty lore for a long time that doesn't matter. Probably enough lore to get me to steal something.
Yeah, let's not forget he's multitasking. He's still talking to the main character.
Like, oh yeah, the fucking dragons are crazy as he's putting a battle axe in his satchel.
My grandpa died from a
Yeah.
fucking massive dragon.
Oh man, yeah, the fucking Daedra, they're cool. They got like red shit on them all the time. I think we call it fire. Fucking stealing gold.
He has like a mouthful of bread.
A mouthful of potatoes, actually. Just uncooked raw potatoes.
That's how you do it. Roughing it.
Mm-hmm. Fiber. I do have to say,
Reasonable.
Miles, the only thing I'm really missing from your videos is a voice of yours to be
Right.
heard.
I
Mhm.
know. One day when I have money, capability to do that more, I'm just happy to be able to record games I like. But
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, like I'm sure if I tried hard enough, I could figure out some way to
I mean,
I don't know,
I
at
could
least like
tell.
record audio and then overlay it. But as far as now, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
I
have to
mean,
have like a
as
second mic.
as far as like I know the cheapest way to do it would be to get just a USB mic for for your computer and have it plugged into your computer while you play the game to record, and then when you record the video, and then like through Audacity you record the audio with the USB mic,
Yeah.
and then smash them both together in your editing software. Make sure they sync up well.
Just make sure they smash
Make
well.
sure they make sure they have the right make sure they
Chemistry.
have the right sample rate though. That's the big tip I'll tell you if you're going to do that. Because if your video's at 4800 hertz but your mic is at 44.100 hertz, your audio is going to sound like this.
I
Or if
actually
it's
really like
flipped
that effect.
around, it'll fucking speed up.
I can't tell if
So
Audacity is the best audio recording equipment or the worst audio recording software. I meant.
it's like it's weird because it just does it really is it's not meant for editing. It's not meant for anything else other than just recording, but it does that really well.
Yeah.
So like if you wanted to record with Audacity and then put it in a separate editing software or some sort of DAW, it would probably work fucking great.
Sounds like a plan. Stan.
The fuck is that? I hear a wow, wow.
I don't know.
That's my aura, guys.
I don't know what you're speaking.
I'll turn it down.
What is this?
I'll turn it down. Punches a baby.
Make sure not to do that again.
Dang,
No,
I'm
it's
getting
cool.
Too
It's
used
cool,
to that.
Miles. I don't
My
mind.
percent went down only a little bit. Give me another baby.
No, it's cool. You can keep your or just stop punching, please. Stop punching babies. Well, I punched many babies. If by baby,
What?
because they are monsters.
Huh?
Welcome to the baby punching
Going.
section.
You were like cutting out for that. I just heard. I punched many babies. If by
Yeah, I said
monsters.
I punched a lot of babies. If by babies you mean monsters in Monster Hunter.
Oh.
What
Well,
about
that's a
just
lot
baby
less demonic.
monsters?
I did beat the shit out of one of those. It was this very, very tiny Jagras we fought.
And that really tiny Otagarin?
I didn't fight that one. But I've been trying out new weapons in Monster Hunter, and it's been pretty fun. The heavy bowgun is kind of ridiculous. You can just sit there with your gun up and just fucking shoot
Bowgun?
monsters in the face. Yeah, heavy bowgun.
Is that like a crossbow?
No, it's a heavy bowgun. It's a heavy bowgun.
It looks kind
So
of like a crossbow. It looks like a crossbow and a rifle had like a baby.
yeah. It's there's the light option which allows you to like dodge and set traps and stuff, and then there's the heavy version which you can just fucking slap a shield on, and then just sit there and do damage to the monster while your shield is up. You can block the monster's attacks as long as you're facing them. But I've been killing angry dick pickles a fuck ton, and that's been super annoying. Devil Joe is an absolute asshole. But I want the Devil Joe bowgun because it allows you to use max spread ammo, max pierce ammo, max sticky ammo, and cluster bombs. So it's like the ultimate knockout weapon.
Looks absolutely insane.
Yeah, this thing is pretty fucking ridiculous.
Oh, the Devil Joe?
No, the
No.
Heavy bowgun?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Look up the Devil Joe heavy bowgun. I think that's called the Dark Devourer.
My computer's not feeling it. It was rendering for the last like 12 hours, and I told it to cancel before I did the podcast because it was going too slow. Still going slow though. Not so nice.
It might need just to restart to reset its memory.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
No thanks. Don't need that sound.
But I've also an event's been going on in Overwatch. I've been playing Overwatch again just for that Halloween event because it's fun.
The Junkenstein's Revenge.
Yeah. I also played a little bit of Friday the 13th on PS4.
It is great fun. It feels like you're actually in a slasher movie, unlike that other one. What was it called? Dead by
fucking
Daylight?
Dead by Daylight. Yeah, that game was
Yeah.
a train wreck. Yeah, in this one, it's actually very balanced. It's like in Dead by Daylight, it was horribly stacked in the monster's favor every time. Like the characters had so fucking, and the monster would like 9 times out of 10, fucking just kill everyone immediately. But in Friday the 13th, it feels a lot more balanced, and it's just pretty fun. But
Jason
all the
moves
games end up
really
kind of being
slow. There's a lot of escape options for the survivors. Jason just has a fucking teleport ability. But Jason can also kill you if he gets his hands on you, so...
Yeah, really quickly too. Like if unless you have a pocket knife in your inventory, like if Jason grabs you, you're probably fucking dead. So it's fun. I also played a little bit of this game called N++ with
Whoa. Is that made by the same people that made N+?
Maybe. Yeah, make sure I'm sending the right game now.
Press X to Jason.
Yeah, N++ is the game. And I think it's the same people who made N+. Yeah, it's the same people. For the PS4. I played it with Haley's brother and sister-in-law, and that was a lot of fun. I thoroughly enjoyed playing that. It was a good game to play with people. I wouldn't be getting it because it would just make me very angry. But it's a good time. It was a lot of fun, and it was pretty hilarious, especially because I was like slow and methodical and trying to figure out the best way to do this whole thing. And Haley's brother was just impatient, so he would just keep getting us killed, and it ended up with funny stuff happening. But that's what I played. That's what I played over the past 3 weeks.
Good shit. One thing I left out is I've been playing a bit of Professor Layton, just here and there, a bit more of that.
Oh, awesome! How
It's
far
good
are
fun.
you in that?
I want to say like 2/3 ish, if I had to guess, because I think there's like 110 puzzles, and I've solved like 60 some. So, yeah.
That's like a little over halfway.
What are you playing it on?
DS, just playing the first one, Curious Village.
Yeah, the best one.
How many have you played? There's a fuck ton of them.
I played one that was on. I played the one on the DS. And I think there was one on the Wii U that I played. I think it was the Wii U.
Huh, I
Trying
thought
to
they were
remember
all
what the
DS
name
games.
was. I think it was through the Virtual Console. It was on a friend's not PS4, Wii U.
Valtrex gets a gun.
Now we're all looking up, is it available on Wii U?
Yeah, now I'm looking up.
Some pretty cool skins for Jason. Austin's computer is falling behind.
It's thinking about what it means to be a computer. If it really wants to be a computer. Alright.
Is that it?
Have we got through all the games we've been playing recently?
Not Amos.
I got a pretty good one actually.
Well.
I have recently been playing. Sorry. Picked up Mass Effect Andromeda for $10 at
Dang.
fucking GameStop. I
Space
picked up
Space
two of them,
Beaver
one
Line.
for me and one for Justin.
How is it?
I am happy to report that not much has changed in the way of the multiplayer. The way you pick classes is a bit different, and the UI is kind of wonky. But besides that, nothing has changed.
Cool.
The campaign, on the other hand, has changed pretty dramatically.
Dang.
After the patch, I played it once before the patch. I got off the starting planet without the patch, and then I installed the patch. It does fix a lot of stuff. There, just something about their faces were incredibly unnerving before the patch, but they fixed the facial meshing and stuff.
That's good.
But it holds together pretty well in some cutscenes, like this one I very vividly remember from a gaming session last night, actually. There were just 3 copies of the same character in the same conversation. For some reason, like, the models weren't loading out whenever it would do a camera change. So there were just 3 of these the new alien Jaal hanging out in this room.
There's just more and more of them. Keep popping up. They're multiplying
Every
the more
time
you talk to one of them.
Every time there would be a new camera cut, there would be a new Jaal standing there.
That's terrifying.
Driving the Mako looks pretty great. What am I listening to?
Yeah, there's music playing somewhere.
What the dick? What is going on? I'm being fucked with. Hey, so Ian, what's...
Ian?
I don't hear it when I mute Ian. Wait. What the fuck? What is happening?
I don't hear it now either.
Okay. God damn it. What is this? What is life?
Fucking piece of shit. Is it okay? Can you hear me now?
How can your
Oh.
issue possibly have been that we couldn't hear you, but we could hear, like, rock, just hardcore rock playing at very short intervals?
So this is what happened. For no fucking reason, my headphones decided to max my phone volume, max my phone call volume, turn on Spotify, which I had exited, turn off Spotify, mute my phone, turn on my phone volume, take a screenshot, turn on Spotify, start music, skip a song, skip another song, mute my phone, take another screenshot, and then Google opened, and I told Google to fuck off, and then when Google fucked off, Spotify reopened, played 4 songs, and then my phone muted, then took another screenshot.
Google's the devil, man. It's all Google's fault.
Now see how many screenshots my fucking phone took without my permission.
I count 2.
You'll be happy to hear that audio at a later time. It was just like 2-second clips of metal. It sounded like you got like hacked.
Excuse me.
So
This
the
brief
headphones
music
that
break is
the
brought to you
earbuds
by
that I
Mad
was
Cats.
using- the earbuds that I've been using have been fucking doing that, where they just make my phone go absolutely bad. Goddamn reason either.
Absolutely bad. No goddamn reason. I feel you.
Welcome to the future, Ian. Welcome to the future.
Is this what the future is about?
The future is about madness.
Didn't you know? Future's all about madness and mad cats. That's what it was born to be about.
Cat bug.
God,
And cat bug.
isn't it, the future is so bleak. Only shitty plastic controllers, clear plastic controllers
Only
exist.
Mad Cat's controllers.
Cat bug.
Yeah. So
Have you guys seen Bravest Warriors?
yes.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Throw a little blanket over it.
Yes.
I've got sugar peas. Drop them. Okay.
Yeah, I lost my shit when I first saw that. So yeah, I just now discovered Bravest Warriors. Started watching it like yesterday. Watched all season 1. It's good shit. Cat bug is best.
Ralph Waldo pickle chips. I don't know them. Yeah, I've been taking my management classes. I'm sorry. Yeah, there's just a bunch of fucking good one-liners from that goddamn show.
Indeed. I showed Miles the best of Cat Bug yesterday. It was all of the season 1 Cat Bug appearances I've seen so far. It's good shit.
It's the Stanley Parable.
What's the Stanley
Y'all
Parable?
might also like Being Puppy Cat.
It's a game I'll play someday. Bean Puppy Cats? What?
Bee and Puppy Cat.
Bean Puppy Cats is what I'm sure that you
It's
said the
fucking
first time.
adorable.
Yeah, it's absolutely adorable, and it's also on Cartoon Hangover. It's got
Well,
it's
that
got
was
those
fast.
dank Steven Universe vibes.
Tis been added to my watch later.
So are we in the what have we watched part of the podcast?
Yeah.
I think we are.
And
I've
it's like,
also been
whoa,
watching.
ho, fucking let me tell you.
Oh,
That's what Anna's like.
what?
Oh,
Dark web porn.
Oh,
What?
The deepest dark web porn.
that's good.
Yikes.
That's good.
Anything else?
What's
That?
How long is this section gonna be?
Well, this is the majority of the podcast, actually.
Welcome to the bottom half of the iceberg, ladies and gentlemen.
We've really found our
oh, this
niche.
iceberg goes way deeper.
I have been watching Bon Appetit, which is a cooking channel on YouTube.
Sure it is. Sure it
They're
is.
fun. My favorite show on that one has been one called It's Alive with Brad Leone. He is a It's basically a show about all the different things that you can use fermentation for. So he makes kombucha, he makes kimchi, he makes sourdough bread, he makes a bunch of stuff. And from him, I discovered two more people. One is Maddie Matheson, who is one of the chefs for Viceland on the Munchies uh, um, show they do. He makes some delicious food, and he's also hilarious. And then also a channel called Binging with Babish, which is a great show in which a guy just makes a bunch of food, mostly for movies and shows. Some of them not, but they're all pretty damn good, and he does a really good job explaining all the steps for cooking. So it's nice. All three channels I highly recommend. I've also been watching a series on GQ's channel where actors talk about their most iconic roles. They have Eric Idle from Monty Python, and they got Mark Wahlberg in there, and Bill Hader, and they got a lot of people on there. And it was really interesting to hear all of these perspectives, like the actors' perspectives on these roles that they did 20, 30 years ago, or in the last couple of years. Um, fucking what else? Steven Universe. Been rewatching Steven Universe because I fucking love that show. And Haley and I have been watching Golden Girls.
Hmm. I remember you talking about
Um,
that a little while ago.
yeah, that show's fucking great. It's a really good show. It's also super funny.
And it's also kind of old.
Yeah, it's from the 80s. 1986, I think.
Like the Golden Girls.
Yeah, like them.
Not that that's a bad thing. It's just old.
Oh. I can't think of anything else I've been watching, though. Um,
Something else I've been watching was RTAA. I'm like an episode or two away from just finishing all 8 seasons of the Rooster Teeth animated adventures.
damn.
That's some good shit. And it's the kind of thing where you can't help but watch one more and then one more because they're all like a minute and a half to 2 minutes long, and then you're on to the next. But yeah, it's been a nice compliment to listening to the Rooster Teeth podcast, which I'm still cranking along with. I'm like almost halfway through at this point.
There was an animated that I watched recently that I thought was really good. But I don't remember what it was. Animated. No, I guess we've also just been watching Drawfee because Drawfee is great. I fucking love watching Drawfee. They're hilarious.
How do you spell that?
DRAWFEE. Their most recent video, I think, is they did a Dark Souls boss challenge. Draw Dark Souls bosses that they've never seen before, just based off of the names
Oh,
and
the
a little bit
channel.
of the description. Yeah.
I thought that was the anime. I thought you remember what the anime was called, and you're like, oh yeah, it was Drawfee.
Oh no, I said it. I said an animation.
Oh, okay, I see. I misheard you.
As of anime, I haven't been watching any. I could if I wanted to, but I haven't been.
I've been getting
It's just-
into Hunter x Hunter recently as an anime. That's good shit. I'm watching more of that.
Oh, Anna watched an anime.
Oh?
Tachia?
You did.
I'm sorry.
What? Akame ga Kill.
Oh yeah, I finally watched all of the Akame ga Kill. It was very It suffered from the Japanese thing of, ha, I've defeated you. No, wait, I have defeated you. Oh no, but my secret weapon is this though.
And now I have defeated you.
Super suffered real bad from that, but I did enjoy like the ending, which
Yeah.
I won't spoil. It's only 12 episodes long.
Oh
If
wow,
it sounds at all interesting to you, fucking check it out. It's real good.
Yeah. It's super fun,
that's tiny.
but it's also like real.
A lot of people die.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Don't get attached to anyone.
Okay.
That's all I can say.
Everybody dies at the end.
Yeah, I've been watching Hunter x Hunter too. I'm on like episode 72. And it's
That's right.
like
That show is.
it's a beautiful show.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
fire.
like it's really well done. Like every episode ends with like some sort of like cliffhanger, or if not a cliffhanger, like a nice resolve. And like just the friendships are worth like learning about and caring about, but also like the character development and like what you can do in the universe that they set up is just really cool. Like it's a cool in terms of like fighting and adventure, like fantasy anime. It's the shit because I love Yu Yu Hakusho. And it's like Yu Yu Hakusho, just newer and a little bit better.
So there is
Oh
an
shit.
anime that I want to recommend to Miles. I recommend it to Austin, but Austin has different sensibilities than a Miles does. And I know that this anime, there's a good possibility the Austin might not get past episode like 2 or 3 just because of the content. But I know Miles might give it a further shot than that.
What are you
Yeah.
saying?
Saying that you don't have depth.
Sounds like you're insulting me.
No, I'm saying that there is a lot of shit in this anime that I know Austin doesn't like. For the same reason he doesn't like Game of Thrones, that like watching Game of Thrones.
I got over
Or
that, and I watched all of Game of Thrones.
okay,
Really?
and then
All of
you
it.
might you might have more. I don't know. It's rough. It's pretty fucking rough. I'm not gonna lie, but at the same time, there is like because it's so rough and because it's so like just raw and like almost kind of hard to stomach when you hit the ending. It makes the ending that much more impactful and that much more meaningful because even though a bunch of awful shit happened, the people who are the main characters are still good people, and that's um, Devilman Crybaby on Netflix.
Devil May
It's only
what?
Devilman
Crybaby.
Crybaby.
Devil Man Crybaby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
it's
fucked up
only
show.
yeah, it's fucked up. It's only 10 episodes long. But for one, I think the animation is amazing because it's really simplistic for the most part. Um, but the message. The message in the story is very like don't discriminate. Like it's really that easy. But the places they take it and the depth of which that message goes is fucking just crazy. And I thought it came out very early, like 20. It came out like January 3rd, 2018, and I still might think it might be the best anime that came out this year. That being said, I haven't seen a lot of anime that came out this year, but this one's still really, 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 really fucking good.
Looks interesting. I just witnessed Miles adding it to his Netflix list.
I wish I had the attention span for what happens. Okay, so what happens with me in anime is I will get one, and then I'll watch that whole thing in like 2 or 3 days, and then get really bummed that it's over, and then not watch anime for a while.
How's your JoJo going?
That happened with JoJo. I haven't gotten any farther on JoJo than the last time I told you. because either I want to play a video game or I want to watch YouTube. But I don't know. Maybe I'll start watching anime again because YouTube's.
What the fuck is that?
I'm having a hard time getting into YouTube content right now just because like I'm catching up on it so damn fast.
What's happening?
There's some disturbing footage being played on the screen right now. I don't really know what to think
Oh
of
yeah.
it. Yeah, it was just
And that
chill. You'll know.
what is that? What is that disturbing footage?
There's
Or
like
can you
this.
just tell by Miles' face?
There's like this weird black and white dude with like he's like a clown murderer with bloody teeth.
The fuck are you talking about?
Okay, I'll give the podcast another look. See that
Fuck it,
thing?
I'll give the podcast another one.
See that creepy thing with the bloody teeth? You'll know eventually. What the
Like,
fuck is that?
is he looking up something, or is it just like,
It's
oh,
a
I guess I'm
Netflix
haunted
movie.
by
It's called The Terrifier.
the Terrifier?
Oh, it's the Terrifier.
It
Oh,
looked really silly, so I clicked on it. See what happens next.
The Terrifier takes what he wants.
He's gonna take your butt, guys.
Teletubbies and other tea things.
What's up, Aunt?
So I saw one other thing that I wanted to talk about real fast because it's fucking hilarious.
Yes.
So I don't know if this was yesterday or a couple days ago, but a YouTuber by the name of Ninja who streams Fortnite all the time because who fucking doesn't?
Who doesn't know Ninja? We talked about him last
Yeah.
time, didn't we?
I don't know, but he was on Ellen DeGeneres, and Ellen is playing fucking Fortnite alongside him, and it is the most delightful cringe fest I have ever seen.
That's pretty great.
As
Yeah,
Ellen
Ninja-
struggles to understand how the fuck to play this game, and like just starting off, like when they're falling down from the sky, Ellen's like, okay, how do I look? And Ninja goes, okay, what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to use your your left thumbstick to look up or something like that. And then she does, or look down at the ground and try and find out where to land. So she looks up in the sky and says, am I doing it? And it's just like, yes, Ellen, you're doing it. And then it just continues like that for like this 6-minute cringe fest. It was so delightful.
I watch a lot of,
Um,
there's a lot of cringe compilations on YouTube and fail compilations. There's also a lot of like horrifying compilations of like, there's literally a channel called like People versus Mountains or something, and it's just like
Mountain wins, like every time.
basically. Not all the time, but
Does the human win by not going anywhere near the mountain?
Yes.
pretty much.
Fucking. What was I gonna say?
What were you gonna say?
Oh yeah, Ninja. Ninja was the first ever professional gamer to be featured on the cover of ESPN.
Oh yeah, that's why we talked about him.
Like, I guess ESPN now, like, all right, professional video gaming is now a sport thing. Because if you think about it, like, professional sports teams, they have it pretty rough. But professional video game teams practice for like 16 hours a day, and they all live together all the time. So 16-hour days with the same, 15 people for months and months and months on end. Not to mention like the at least for Overwatch, the Overwatch League games, those went on for like fucking 6 months. The season was super long. Then there was like no off season before the next one started.
Yeah,
So,
you pretty much just eat, sleep, and play video games.
mhm.
It sounds delightful, but when you're being forced to play the video game, it takes on a different air.
No, it
Yeah.
doesn't sound delightful if it's all the fucking time.
Um, there's also a old Viner because Haley and I like Vines, so we were watching an old Viner. His name's Matt Post. Um, he's just really fucking funny, really fucking funny. That's all I have to say. He got a bunch of good ones. Just like the title of one was like a fuck boy in France, and it was like there was this person that people kept on telling me to bone. I think their name was Appetit. Wait, do you mean Bone Appetit? Yeah, that bitch.
No, man, it was appetite. Her
And
tits have an appetite.
there's good compilations, like 30-minute compilations of his best ones, and they're all pretty fucking funny. Um, and Game Grumps compilations, as always, I put those on in the background. Super Best Friends has the shitstorm going on right now, so I've been watching all of those. Shitstorm 7, which is super crazy that they've been doing the shitstorm for 7 years now, because I remember watching during the second shitstorm.
I've never heard of Shitstorm.
Shitstorm is just what the Super Best Friends do during Halloween. They play a bunch of scary games.
Oh, okay. I thought that was Game Grump stuff still.
No. Yeah, Super Best Friends, Game Grumps. Gifts with sound, as always, just because it's just dumb, entertaining fun to watch.
Dumb.
It's pretty dumb. I've been watching also Peach Saliva, who is Pat from Super Best Friends. His girlfriend, Paige, does streams on Twitch as well. And she's pretty damn funny. She's like, if you think Pat is an asshole, Paige is like Pat times 10 when it comes to how much of an asshole she is.
What's her
And
Twitch name?
Peach Saliva.
Oh, okay.
They balance each other out so damn perfectly. It's hilarious how much they just shit on each other, and it's amazing. Like they were playing Undertale, and they're playing Undertale, and when you find out when one character likes another, I'm not gonna say who it is because Austin still hasn't finished Undertale, but when you find out when one character likes another, she's like, wait, why would she like her? Why would they like each other? They're like, she's a dumb fat nerd. And Pat was like, hey man. And Peach was like, hey, that's not what it's not the same. And then chat exploded with, wow, Paige, you're a piece of shit. And she's like, oh man, I guess I did the bad thing. I guess I did the bad job. Ugh.
Oh, yeah.
So,
So,
moving in.
moving actually,
moving on.
have we? Because Miles said he's been watching Hunter x Hunter, but that's all I've heard from him.
Austin and I have been watching like a lot of Halo lore stuff. We do Halo on Wednesdays, like just Halo-esque, Halo universe stuff, but mainly watching like lore videos, and it's really cool. Like ultimately, we want to write something of our own in line with the universe, but we've been learning as much as we can to prepare for that, and it's been quite the trip because there's a lot. Like, it really is a pretty immense, like, it's an immense universe, and it would be really cool to find, like, our slice of that universe, so to speak. But yeah, just learning about it has been really fun, really cool.
Indeed.
Because I've also been like playing. I beat Reach, heroic campaign, and now I'm on Halo 1. And yeah, I love the series of games. Never really get old. But other than that, I've just been um, I don't know, Hunter. The Office never gets old. Jasmine and I watch that regularly. Um, yeah, don't really.
Um,
We
fun fact.
sometimes listen to like. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. It's fine. I'll let you. I'll come back to it.
Well, we sometimes listen to like mainly like female serial killers. There's a YouTube channel that talks about like historic, like through history, just different female serial killers. And
Huh.
goddamn, like,
Yeah, they get fucked up.
well, sometimes it's like crazy motherfuckers, and sometimes it's like really sad, like 1800s, like you're a piece of property essentially. So like, you have some people who like kill their husband and then they'll, get hung, and it's like, well, he was kind of a piece of shit. I don't
Kind
condone
of a piece.
killing, but she was trapped in a marriage, married somebody who then turned into an abuser.
Yeah, but that's just one kill. I don't understand how that turns into like a serial killer situation.
Well, sometimes they break and just kind of go over the top. It's
Well,
like,
see, then
well,
that's not okay. That's what you're
But-
saying is debatable.
there were a few that were just sad. Most of them were like, yeah, you're going to jail, bitch. You kind of deserve it. But yeah, it's like, I don't know. We've watched several of the kind, but the female serial killers throughout history, it's definitely very interesting. A lot of them are like, oh, how about you take a life insurance policy and then have this drink? It's like, okay, honey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
It's like, I'm gonna take out a $300,000 life insurance policy. Like, why stop there? Go to $1 million. Okay. I mean, better to be safe than sorry, right? Yeah.
Better to be extra safe than extra sorry.
Would you like another glass of wine?
You know what? Let's just pack an extra bottle.
Tastes a little arsenicy.
Just a little bit. The arsonist gives it that tang. The arsenic gives it that nice tang.
Tastes just
The
fine to me, man.
umami. So
I
what I was
thought
gonna
you
say was
said- Thought
Go
you
ahead.
said that arsonists give it the nice tang.
yeah, the tang
Just
everyone
setting
needs
everything
for their
on
cannibal
fire.
meal. Yeah.
Arsenic.
So what I was gonna say was binging with Babish, one of the cooking shows I was talking about, does an episode on Kevin's chili, and he follows the recipe he gives in the show.
Kevin? Who's Kevin?
Yeah. The big guy.
From what show?
The Office.
Oh! Oh, shit! Oh, that's great. I didn't realize
And then
there
at the
was
very end,
a recipe.
and
in
at the,
this.
yeah, he said he kind of gives the recipe in the episode, so he follows it somewhat, and he makes it. And he's like, now this chili was pretty damn good, but if I want to be totally like 100% truthful with the show, I have to get some shitty office carpet and serve it off of that. And so he gets like a square of shitty office carpet, plops a bunch of chili on it, and just starts eating it. And he's like, I don't know if it made it taste any better. It might have made it taste worse, but hey, I ate a whole bowl off camera, so it's got to be pretty good.
Ugh.
Yeah, I feel like the recipe would not be good. I feel like they would be misleading you, and to recreate that would just be to make a kind of shitty chili.
No, apparently it was really good.
Was it?
Yeah.
It was just the plating
The plating
was
was on
questionable.
carpet
Hmm.
because he fucking spilled the chili all over the ground.
Right. All right, cool beans. So is that all of the watching section?
I believe
so.
so.
Can't think of anything else that's been jumping out to me.
I've been watching. So after Miles and I finished Iron Fist, we started on Daredevil. So we're like 2 episodes into that now. And that's compared to Iron Fist, much better, as pretty much any
Oh, yeah.
piece of cinematography
Oh
would
my
be
God.
compared to Iron Fist.
Watching paint dry would be more entertaining than Iron Fist.
Or grass grow,
Did
or
you
dirt
hear
just
Iron
be
Fist
dirt.
was canceled?
But they already had a season 2 coming out.
Yeah, after season 2, they're done.
Okay. I'm surprised there was a season 2.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd be even more surprised. I'd be more surprised if there was a season 3 than there not being a season 3. I'd just be completely blown away.
The setup for season 2 is so.
Yeah. Not a whole lot of excitement there.
Not a whole lot of anything.
But yeah, I mean, compared to that, Daredevil, the first 2 episodes have been way better.
Yeah, pleasant.
Yeah. Just to
Just
say
wait
it's been
till you
great.
meet. Just wait till you meet, like. So I watched all of season 1 and 2 of Daredevil. Now, albeit, like, I don't like superhero stuff, but it was on when it came out when I was at Kay's house. So of course he watched the whole thing. So by proxy, I ended up watching like the whole thing. Do you know who one of the antagonists is that comes in? Do you know who gets introduced?
We're only like 2 episodes in, so.
He's not the first antagonist. He's the second antagonist.
Probably
But I
not
mean,
then.
you do have a list of Marvel shows that you're watching, right?
Yeah.
What's on that list?
Are you saying that one of the dudes on that list is gonna be the antagonist?
Yeah.
You fucker.
It's
Didn't
not a
even go
big
there.
deal. It's not a big, like, all of these shows are interconnected. Did you really need to know?
I needed.
Like, did you really need to have that a secret? Like, the fucking, what's that show where it's the four people from the Netflix shows and they're all working together.
Well, no, I didn't need to know, but did you really need to tell me for a show that you know I'm watching?
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yeah, not Agents of fucking S.H.I.E.L.D. What's the other one? It was really good, I'll say that. I enjoyed that. I guess I just didn't need to tell you, but I'm telling you, it's gonna get really fucking good.
All
But
right.
also you don't have. You still don't know who it is. It's probably not who you think it is.
I think it's gonna be either.
Wrong.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not even gonna say who I think it is. Let's leave it at that. I don't know who it is, and that's best.
No.
The Defenders. That's who I was thinking of.
There's not that many Defenders. I said that. I said Defenders.
Yeah, like you know who's in the
Yeah.
Defenders, based off of the shows that are on Netflix.
Right.
So how is it a big deal?
Well,
Oh no, you got spoiled on who
now
the
I know
Defenders
that one
were
of the
because the
Defenders is
other
gonna
shows exist.
come up early in the show. For all I know, the Defenders could have been only introduced in their own show.
I'm making this tonight.
Yeah, this is some delicious chili that's being concocted on screen. But yeah, for all I know, it's not going to happen until much later. And now I know that one of the characters in the Defenders is going to come up around here soon. Because of you, Ian. Because of you. Not that
Yeah,
big of
you
a
already
deal.
know who's in the Defenders. It's in the promotional art for the fucking show.
Right, but I didn't. What I'm saying is that, like, I knew that, but I didn't know that any of those characters were going to be introduced in Daredevil's show. And now I know that not
Oh
only
no,
are they
that's
going to
not
be
what I'm
introduced,
saying.
they're going to be introduced soon.
Nope, they're not. That's not what I was saying at all.
You're not saying that one of the characters is going to come in the show soon?
One of the characters from the Defenders? No.
Oh, okay. Well, then I know nothing.
There
I will
you
be
go.
right
That's what I
back.
was
I
saying.
won't be able to talk for a second, but I will be able to hear you.
All right.
Ow.
That looks like fun. Miles just Spirit himself. Alright, so something else I've been watching recently is Community. I like.
Oh my god, Community is so good.
Yeah, I give that
Community's pretty
show
good.
a shot, and it is the shit. And
Yeah, it's really fun.
I also finished up like all season 1 in the last couple weeks. So
You don't
Chia.
need to watch past that, because after that, it's just season 1 over again 3 more times.
Oh, that's discouraging.
It was.
I heard it's good for a little while longer, but
It may be to the end of season 2 that it finally just starts to drag.
I'm liking season
But
2 so far for what it is.
But yeah, it's pretty good up until like the end of a season, and then like they laid off a couple of their writers, and you can definitely tell.
Yeah, what is it? Dan Harmon wrote for Community, created Community actually. Community.
And he gets fired?
No, I don't think he does. I remember when Community got canceled and then brought back for like one more season and then it ended. Remember when that happened?
Huh. Yeah, I
You could
noticed
tell.
all the other seasons past season 2 are much shorter than the rest. They're all like 12 episodes as opposed to 25.
Yeah, I
But-
think it was between season 3 and 4 that they canceled it and then brought it back.
Yeah, it started off super promising, but then it just doesn't really go anywhere after like season 2.
But Dan Harmon is also the creator of Rick and Morty. You can kind of hear his sense of humor.
Yo, absolutely. That's part of why I like it so much. So actually, there's 6
Yeah,
seasons of the show apparently on Hulu.
The first couple seasons were really good. Like 100% watch them.
Huh. All right, cool. It's good shit. Miles and I also watched a movie that we probably could have spent our Saturday doing other things on, honestly. But we saw Venom like the second day it came out, and that was a movie.
Yeah, I heard it was pretty fucking bad.
Yeah. We knew going into it that it wasn't going to be very good. Like I saw the reviews on Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes that each gave it like 30%.
I've seen those reviews. Yeah, they're fucking awful. And I completely blame it on Disney and studio interference, saying no, this needs to be a PG-13 movie so it makes more money. It needed to be R. It needed to be an R-rated movie.
An R-rated Venom movie, I would have 100% went and saw that.
But as soon as I heard it was PG-13, I fucking knew that it was going to be like a shadow of what it could have been.
That definitely would have helped, but it didn't. I don't feel like it needed to be R to just follow the comic books and like try and go off a bigger storyline.
So Tom, the reason the storyline is bad apparently is because the stuff they cut out to make it PG-13 was the stuff that would have made the movie R, and also the stuff that would have made the story made more sense. It was also Tom Hardy's favorite scenes in the whole movie, and they cut them out because they were too R-rated to be PG-13. You know what I'm saying? Like the stuff they cut out to make the movie PG-13 was the stuff that would have made it good, apparently.
They can't sell toys if it's R-rated.
Yep. It didn't stop them with Deadpool, but whatever. It's like they knew Deadpool existed and then did nothing with the lesson they learned.
Are you still listening with your phone like that? You're throwing me off. I thought you were like doing something else, like you were calling someone. Okay.
Also, Logan was fucking really good. Logan was great.
Yeah, I thought it was a good end cap.
Yeah, it was a real good end cap. It was a real good movie too. And it needed to be R-rated.
Yep.
And it was. And because it was. Cause imagine if that movie would have been edited to be PG-13. You know how shitty it would have been.
Yeah. Yep. No, it was definitely like the R-rated sequences were pretty intense.
Pretty fucking important.
Yeah, that's a good point. I guess I was focused more on story and just kind of feeling that story was the main thing lacking there. But
Yeah,
I
but it's
guess,
like I guess what I'm saying is because of what they had to cut out to make the ratings board rate it PG-13, the stuff they had to cut out would have fleshed out the story and made it better.
right. I
At least
feel.
that's what I understand. I didn't see it because I don't really care, but I do care about knowing these things for some reason.
Well, I saw it because Venom's my favorite fucking villain in all of superheroes and supervillains. Well, in all supervillains that would defeat the
Why
purpose.
not? Why not Carnage though?
Because I don't have a HeroScape figure of Carnage. So I'm gonna be completely honest with you. That's probably where a lot of my love for that character comes.
Because Carnage is just like everything Venom ever was, but amped up and cooler.
He's also like a murderer though, and not as chill. And Venom is Eddie Brock is a lot more chill in the comic books. He's a lot more
At
reasonable.
least Venom is quippy. Carnage will just kill you.
Venom will give you the long boss fight speech before he does, so you can get away. But yeah, as a Venom fan, I was pretty disappointed, but potentially very excited at the prospect of them not making very much money from this and MCU being like Marvel Studios being one step closer to owning the rights to Venom and being able to incorporate him in their shows instead, because that would be much better.
So I did watch one thing, and I don't remember the YouTube channel, but this guy who absolutely fucking loved Star Wars movies, not Star Wars movies, no, sorry, loved Marvel movies, fucking like they were his favorite thing ever. He fucking adored everything that came out. He saw Infinity War and then made a 30-minute long essay on why Infinity War was just not good and really, really disappointing and not at all what it needed to be. And it it basically came down to these points, which when I watched it, from what I understand, because I still haven't seen it, but I did watch his video essay on it, and I'm regurgitating what he said. And what he said was one, it makes it so it's teaching abuse victims that the abuse they suffered was okay because whoever did it to them loved them. And he cites Thanos and Gamora as the main problem relationship between in this situation because Thanos did all of these fucking terrible, terrible, awful things to Gamora, but it was all justified and okay because he loved her and he wanted to protect her by abusing her in these ways. Um, another, and they also apparently did her very dirty.
What do you mean by that?
And they killed her in a very dumb way.
Yeah.
Star-Lord went, and from Guardians of the Galaxy, went through it kind of mirrored what James Gunn was doing, where he was maturing, not becoming so much of a kid who makes immature mistakes and actually, thinks things out and does, has methodical thinking and does things for smart reasons, becoming more mature over time goes on over the two Guardians of the Galaxy movies. And then when he's in Infinity War, it's like he retrograded completely and makes the same stupid mistakes he made at the beginning of Guardians of the Galaxy 1.
Yeah.
Also, the biggest problem that this guy said was Marvel ramped things up so damn hard and made the stakes way, way too incredibly high to just dash them all at the end, which teaches a lot of younger audiences who watch Marvel movies a ton that everything they do is hopeless. No matter what they do, something will always go wrong, and terrible, terrible, terrible things will happen. That was more of a side note. It was more of a Marvel ramped things up too hard, made the stakes too high, and instead of making it feel like, oh man, these stakes have been built up over the past couple movies, they literally shoved all of the stakes into one movie and then made it pay off in one movie. And because they did that, it feels like they are trying to. They have nowhere to go after this. At least for a long time, they have nowhere to go because now half the people in the fucking universe are dead. Like, what are we gonna do now? I mean, they're not dead, quote unquote. They could still come back, but at the same time, it's artificially ramping up the stakes crazy hard out of nowhere, and then making it pay off in a really dour way. That's just going to be obviously solved in the next big movie that happens. So it doesn't feel like any. It doesn't feel like this was something that should have been done. It doesn't feel like it. Marvel earned this. It felt more like they shoved it upon us that this happened, and then they're going to fix it the next time a big movie comes out, and everything's going to be okay. That's basically what he was saying was what was wrong with Infinity War and why they should have saved this or not done this storyline until later and spent the next couple movies actually ramping up the stakes instead of doing it all in one movie and then making it pay off in the same movie. That's what he broke it down to. And no one expected because like I said, this guy was like huge fan of Marvel movies. There's his favorite things, the fact that the MCU was becoming an actual huge universe that was occurring and having all of these just crazy branching storylines from everything happening. It made him really happy. And then this happened, and then he really didn't like it, and he felt like it was a really bad misstep. It was just interesting to hear it from this guy.
What's the name of the video called?
I don't remember. That's the thing. I don't remember what the guy is, but I've seen him on my YouTube a couple times.
Okay.
I watched an alternative essay arguing, playing devil's advocate for the thing that happened with Star-Lord,
Really?
and it made a lot of sense, actually. Because in that moment where, have you seen Infinity War? Who here has?
I have not, but I've seen so many things about it that I know like everything that happens.
Yeah, Miles and I have both seen it.
Okay, because I'm approaching spoiler territory.
I
It
think
doesn't.
we've been in
You know I
spoiler
don't care.
territory.
Yeah, you know I don't
When,
care.
yeah, when, Star-Lord fucking, like, regresses into a fucking immature child at the very end, and basically allows, Thanos to, you know, get his plan going, it's, like, not because they writ him to like, well, they did write him to regress, but there's a reason for it. It brings it back to, where he, where he lost his mom and then he gets, like, immediately sucked out into space and everything like that. It's the feeling of losing control. The universe is just so much bigger than you, it's gonna crush you anyway, and you might as well just lash out at it.
Huh.
So he did regress from a story standpoint, but
Basically.
then what was the point of the two Guardians of the Galaxy movies?
I don't know. Money? But if you want to see it, it's a channel called Movie Bob. He writes a bunch of movie essays. It's the Devil's Advocate video that I was talking about. Is I Sorry, IBWT, Avengers Affinity War. You're being too hard on spoiler. It's 17 minutes long and it's pretty good.
Um, yeah, it's so what I'll say right now is like if they plan for him to regress like that, what was the point of the two Guardians of the Galaxy movies?
I don't know.
At this point in time, it seems like they were pointless and they built up characters that they were just going to get rid of anyway for no reason. But again, that's at this time. It'll probably make more sense once a couple more movies come out.
I don't know. Without James Gunn, it might be a little bit different.
Yeah. Oh, did you guys hear about that? What James Gunn penned to direct next?
What?
Oh my
The
god.
next Suicide Squad movie.
Oh god.
No
So
thanks.
it it ends up like this. James Gunn makes Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a huge hit. DC wants to replicate it. So they make Suicide Squad in the style of James Gunn. Fail horribly. James Gunn gets fired. They hire James Gunn for the next Suicide Squad movie. So
Well.
yeah,
I'm a little excited to see it if they let him
yeah,
just do his thing.
yeah, for sure. I'm a huge advocate for separating the art from the artist. So even though he said a bunch of shitty things that he did take back and he did apologize for already like 50 times, uh, I do like is having James Gunn on the directing spot the only thing that movie needs to actually be good, or is it just
I
gonna
don't think
fucking
so.
suck like the other one? Who knows?
Yeah, honestly, it could go either way, but I don't know. I like seeing new directors because it's at the end of the day, it's only a slight change in vision for something that's controlled mainly by a company, anyways.
Yeah. When it comes to, I feel like it doesn't at all matter who directs what Marvel movie. They all end up like almost identical because that's how much Disney and Marvel control the movies. Doesn't matter who's directing it or who's writing it. It's all the same producers, so it all looks the same and it all feels the same. Um, I don't know. It's I just wanna. I'm super stoked for Joaquin Phoenix being the next Joker. That looks pretty fucking cool. He looks like he'll do a good job.
Yeah.
And even though
Anything is
even,
better than the what was it, Jared
Jared
Leto
Leto,
Joker?
yeah, Jared Leto,
Fuck
yeah.
that.
I was hyped because I was like, ooh, this is gonna give some new light to the Joker character, and it's really different from anything we saw, and it fucking was terrible.
Yeah, I was hyped too.
But yeah, fucking Jared Leto ruined it because he's a narcissistic dickhead.
Yeah, really the only like actor that I felt did a good job in that movie was the Harley Quinn chick.
Margot Robbie is Harley Quinn.
Okay.
Yeah, she was all right. Apparently, I didn't fucking see it. I was super excited to see it, and then I saw that everyone was like, "This is a fucking like terrible movie," and I was like, "Oh, well, damn it."
I watched it, can confirm it was terrible. Oh.
um, uh, there's one movie coming out that I am very excited for, and I don't know if any of you know about it yet. I
Yeah.
might have talked about it before, but it's called Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Never heard of it.
It is Tarantino's next movie,
Oh shit.
and it's about the Manson family murders.
Oh shit.
Well then.
And Let me find the cast list for this motherfucker because
When is it
it's
predicted to be coming out?
next year, I think. Hold on.
Damn.
Yeah, next year.
Excellent.
All right. The cast list is Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie, Dakota Fanning, Al Pacino, Damian Lewis, Tim Roth, Emil Hirsch, Timothy Oliphant, Michael Madsen, Kurt Russell, Luke Perry, Clifton Collins Jr., James Marsden, and a bunch of others that are.
Yeah, that's already enough for me.
Yeah, that's a fucking ton.
That's
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's Reservoir Dogs too. Big guys.
Damn.
Yeah, I am pretty fucking stoked. And apparently, this is going to be Tarantino's most like fucking edgelord movie yet.
Dang. Yeah, I'm a
And
huge
also-
Tim Roth and Michael Madsen fan.
Yeah,
They're the
like,
best.
and basically almost anyone that's worked on a Tarantino movie before, almost everyone is gonna be involved, and it's they're just I love it because they're just taking like let's take 2 actors from this movie, 3 actors from this movie, 2 actors from this movie. Let's get some new ones in there, and then bam, we got a crazy ass fucking movie, crazy ass cast list as always. Tarantino never disappoints with his cast list. All right, are we ready to move on?
I'm ready to binge with what's his name.
Yeah, we're
Binge
watching.
with Babish.
We're watching a bunch of this stuff. I'm watching the South Park special for the last like 6 minutes, and he just made
What?
some amazing looking chili.
That South
Yeah,
Park
binging
chili
with Babish is really
with
fucking
with,
good.
Scott Tenorman's parents in it.
Yeah, also his voice is just smooth as butter.
I haven't heard it at all.
Oh yeah, once you turn on the voice, oof.
With half a dozen shallots shaved.
Salt Bay.
Mandolin. Now, unless you're a trained professional like myself, make sure you use a hand guard.
Speaking of chili, why don't we go into what we've eaten?
Oh yeah.
Sounds like a stand. Plan.
So since Haley's working at that sushi restaurant, we're trying a bunch of different sushi rolls from it. And we had one the other day that was called the Cosmopolitan, and it's like shrimp tempura and what else is in it? Like avocado, and it was really good. But the real kicker that made it like 10 times better was the fact that they put really thinly sliced lemons in the roll, so it gave it a really nice citrus flavor and also gave it a really good crunch. It might be my favorite we've gotten so far. It was really good.
Yum.
I also made some pretty dank ass shrimp scampi last night,
Hey.
and made a seafood bisque that was really, really good, but it was also like 50% cream, so I ended up shitting like my brains out later that night because I'm lactose intolerant.
Yikes.
Nicely done.
There hasn't been much else. I'm focusing more on making really good food instead of getting takeout. Takeout costs a lot, and making food probably less expensive. I'm focusing on making food instead of buying it, and it's going pretty well. I'm making some delicious stuff. Oh, I also made my my great grandma's. This recipe is like 120 years old for banana bread.
I love banana bread.
Banana bread is so damn good. And we got more bananas. I have to wait like maybe 3 or 4 more days for these fuckers to get more brown. And I can make more banana bread.
Okay.
You remember? Actually, both of you probably remember that. I don't know if I ever gave it to you, Anna, but the banana bread you guys had at my house way back in the day, back in high school. Y'all remember that?
No.
I believe so.
I don't.
Didn't I have it a couple of times?
Yeah, probably. We made it a lot.
Yeah, I remember the good old coffee or tea after school
Yeah.
before band practice.
Yeah, having coffee and banana bread before band practice, and then we would fucking jam out.
Yeah. I remember there was some other like treat that your mom made that was ridiculous.
Yeah, I can't remember. Like, she made a lot. She's a great lady. Oh, I do remember the time that it was in the middle of March, so I made you a big ass pancake that turned green. That I turned green with food coloring.
I remember that. It was a thick ass
Yeah.
pancake. It was delicious.
Yeah, and then you took a fat shit afterwards.
Yeah, I did.
That's the most important part.
Yeah, it was the most important part because it took like an hour to eat the pancake, and then he immediately went to the bathroom and spent like another 30 minutes in there. So by the time we actually started band practice, it was already like 4:30 or 5 in the afternoon. That was funny.
Nothing
That was
but the
funny.
best.
Nothing but the best. So what have you guys had?
I am so lost in this Babish channel. He's making moon pancakes right now with caramel and like the entire bottom layer was just caramel. Yeah, he just quit. Okay. Last night or yesterday morning, I had breakfast with my dad up at a Patty's Eggs Nest that just opened down the road. So that was pretty fucking great. I had this like Sicilian
Down the
scramble.
road?
Yeah, in the parking lot of Winco.
What?
Yeah, there's a Patty's Eggs Nest that just opened up. My dad and I had breakfast there yesterday.
Hell yeah.
In addition to my Sicilian scramble, I had a little like hash brown thing and some like hot chai tea and toast. Like, It's good shit. It's good shit. The Sicilian scramble had like mushrooms and pepperoni and this like spicy sausage and eggs and onion and other shit.
Oh man,
It was
that
delicious.
sounds fucking great.
Indeed.
I think my favorite scramble I ever had was like they called it the Irish scramble, and it had like it was you did the normal hash browns and eggs, but it had like lamb sausage and corned beef, and like there was some other and like some rye toast on the side. It was fucking great. That sounds good.
I've been eating all kinds of different things.
Poop butts.
Poop butt.
No.
Pretty sure.
We're pretty good at doing our stir fry thing. But like French dips are the shit. I'll eat those as much as I can.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. I'm a sucker for Sammy's. I'm a sucker for breakfast for dinner. Especially looking at breakfast right now.
Fuck yeah. Breakfast for dinner is the best. I mean, you remember all of you have had, well, except Austin. Austin hasn't, because he doesn't think runny yolks are good. But you, Miles, I'm pretty sure you had my eggs, and I know I made my eggs for Anna.
Because I make them all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I make pretty good eggs too.
Yeah, man. There's just something about that fucking breakfast for dinner is great. We have in order to know what we want to buy at the grocery store, so we don't just buy a bunch of random shit and then have nothing to make. We make a meal plan before every trip to the grocery store, so we know what we're gonna have for dinner every night, and at least once or twice we have breakfast for dinner, and we just put breakfast. So that could mean French toast with eggs, or just pancakes, or anything.
suicide.
In fact, tonight our meal is going to be Caesar salad, which isn't a breakfast thing, but we're not just gonna buy a salad mix and then make it. We're actually got romaine lettuce and then we're gonna chop it and gonna grate some Parmesan. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, I usually do that with like a chicken or sausage, like pork. I'll do some like meat or even beef.
I maybe one day I'll like get the balls to make my own Caesar dressing. The only thing that makes it a little bit hard is you gotta get like anchovies.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, making like making your own ranch isn't too bad because the creamier, in my opinion, the creamier the better. But yeah, I can see why Caesar would be a particular combo.
It's just got a bunch of weird ingredients that you wouldn't necessarily think. And it's not a mayo based thing. It's like egg whites whipped and custardized and then fucking with anchovies cut up and weird. It's weird. It's real weird.
Yeah, it sounds weird.
But I am probably going to start making my own kombucha here pretty soon.
Damn.
Because it's not that bad, it's not that hard. All it takes is time. But I can do one of two things to start out. I can either go to a local kombucha place and buy, or just ask if I could have a chunk of their SCOBY to start, or I get a bottle of unpasteurized, unflavored kombucha, check for chunks at the bottom, and if there are chunks at the bottom, then I could use it to grow my own SCOBY over the course of a month, and then once that SCOBY is grown, I can start making kombucha.
Cool.
Yeah, you should do that.
Grow my own. Huh?
You should do that. Just like recycle from the stuff at the bottom of the can and see if you can make that work. That'd be really cool. Just to like grow your entire thing out from this tiny little bit that was left at the bottom of one of your drinks.
Yeah, it's so the key is it has to be unpasteurized or else the SCOBY gets killed, and it has to be unflavored or else it's going to the SCOBY won't grow right, or there's going to be like mold or different bacteria growing that'll kill the SCOBY anyway. So it's got to be unflavored and it's got to be unpasteurized.
Huh.
Yeah, and it's you basically you take a big old thing, probably about 3/4 of a gallon of sweet tea. I hear that you're not supposed to use Earl Grey to make it. I don't know why, but I'll just trust because I've heard it from like 5 different people. Any tea at all. You brew it, and then you add a bunch of sugar to it, and the sugar acts as food for the SCOBY. And you put about 3/4 of a gallon into a gallon jar, and then you put the whole bottle of kombucha in there. Make sure everything is like sanitized, clean, no bacteria exists anywhere. And then you put cheesecloth over it, and put a rubber band around it so the cheesecloth stays on. And then every day check your SCOBY to make sure there's no mold growing on it, no bacteria growing on it. After about a month, it's like a full-blown SCOBY, and then you can actually start making kombucha with it, which is like, you brew a bunch of sweet tea, make it super sweet, wait till it's room temperature. You gotta make sure it's like about like 90 to 95 degrees, something like that. Maybe like even 85, or just you gotta make sure it's cool, but you don't want to shock the SCOBY so it can't be cold, but you don't want to kill the SCOBY so it can't be too hot. So once you do that, you can ferment it with the SCOBY, and that takes about like about a week, maybe 2, depending on how sour you want your kombucha to be. And then after that, you strain it out, you put it into bottles, and then once it's in bottles, you can put like fruit juices and other stuff and other sugars for carbonation to happen. And then when you seal the bottle with a good chunk of air in the way, That's what carbonates the kombucha. You let that sit for like 2 to 3 days, and then you pop it open, and then you got yourself some booch.
Thanks.
And then you got yourself some booch.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of steps.
It is a lot of steps, but
A lot of waiting.
yeah, but at the same time, like, this is the easiest fermented drink you can make. Like, even though it sounds like a lot of steps, it's really just like 10 minutes of work every 2 weeks. 10 to 15 minutes of work every 2 weeks. And it's done. It's not like making beer where you have to there's like 30,000 goddamn steps. And it's not, I guess the only other thing that's like kind of almost as easy as mead, because it's just honey and water with like champagne yeast, and you let that do its thing for a month, and then you strain it, and then you add flavors to it, and let that sit for like 6 more months, and then bam, you have mead. But it doesn't take nearly as long. Anyway, that's Ian's kombucha corner.
Do you have anything from Ian's mechanic corner for the week?
Nope, nothing's broken.
That's good.
I mean, our basement flooded, but that got taken care of.
Doesn't sound broken to me.
No, luckily for me, nothing's broken yet. Although my car is only about 900 miles away from needing another oil change, so that's probably going to happen within the next 2 months.
We have our topic for our next Mechanic Corner with Ian. Sponsored by Mad Cats.
Indeed.
Sponsored by Mad Cat.
No, that's the name of the podcast. That's our names, man. Get it right. I mean, that's the name of the whatever. Get it right.
I don't need this shit.
Except when it's hyper important, like this.
But I guess we should cap it off because we did skip a section of what we've been listening to.
That's right. You did miss. Me personally, I've been listening to some of the Halo Wars 1 soundtrack. I bought the soundtrack off iTunes like a couple weeks ago, and it's good shit. It's real good shit.
Good shit.
Indeed.
Ian, check out Topaz Jazz. Let me know what you think. That's kind of
Topaz
what
Jazz.
I've been listening to.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I need to go get ready to go to the store. Jasmine's older brother's gonna come over later. Work on some hip hop stuff.
You're bailing.
Nice.
That's what you're telling me. You're bailing.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
How unprofessional.
What is this?
But yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Mhm.
It was nice kind of talking, hearing what you guys have been doing.
Thanks for joining.
Yeah. Yeah. Welcome.
Hey,
You're
thanks.
welcome back next week.
Yeah, just let me know.
All
The
right.
beans.
I've just been listening to the normal stuff. Like, there hasn't been much difference. Been back on my Progressive Metal playlist. I've been farming on Monster Hunter. There hasn't really been anything new that I have found recently.
Yeah.
It's all just same old stuff.
Pretty much the same. Hannah?
On Mass Effect Andromeda, you can find a radio that plays all of the ODSTs. Oh, OSTs, sorry.
ODST. Oh.
On that. Yeah. It plays, it drops all the ODSTs. It's a radio. It's crazy. Now, you can listen to the soundtrack for every song on Andromeda on this radio, and I've just been standing there, just letting it play as I, fuck off and go do something else.
Good.
They've got some pretty good music. I don't really know who the composer is, but they did a good job.
Cool beans.
Of course, it doesn't tell me.
Well, awesome.
Alright.
As of today, I'm waiting for my phone call from GameStop to see if I get some work there. So I will be with Haley most of the day, and then I'll probably be on Monster Hunter if you want to join Anna.
Sure.
Or maybe Overwatch, because I think the thing's reset today. I don't know.
Cool beans.
If you're gonna be there, Austin, we might stream, possibly, but
Be there
if
as
not,
in
we
like
won't worry about
watching
it.
the stream or playing?
Yeah, watching the stream.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd be
I wish I
very
could
down to watch.
stream this. Sorry.
Stream what?
I wish I could stream Mass Effect for you, so you could see it.
Yeah, indeed. That's pretty much the main game that comes to mind when I think about games I want to play with you guys. I mean, even though Anna's the one person who could, you could, but Ian and Haley, even though they couldn't play, still very much want to play that game. Basically, before the servers die.
Before the servers die.
Because I'm sure that'll happen eventually, pretty soon here.
Yeah, it's not. There's like a total of 20 people playing in the multiplayer. It's really sad.
Yeah. But cool.
Multiplayer is still fun though. I highly recommend it.
Dope. Yeah, for the longest time I had no idea what it was. I didn't realize it was a horde mode. That makes it seem a lot cooler. And yeah, with your recommendation, wanted to play that for a while. So.
And it's only $10, so.
Wait, what? You have to pay for the multiplayer?
Oh
No,
no,
the game.
Mass Effect. Mass Effect Andromeda. It's only $10
I see.
because it did so poorly.
Right. Yeah, that game is not holding up. Alright. Cool beans. Thanks
Alright.
for taking the time, guys.
Yep, no problem.
Have a good one. See you next time.
So,
Alright, bye-bye.
okay. Bye.
Bye.
All right.
Dead fish.
So I guess the way this is gonna have to work is, oh no, I can hear myself on your mic. Yeah, can you try and use this mic?
Fuck. It's gonna be really bad. Just the quality of my voice is gonna be hella shit.
Yeah, it's gonna be quiet compared to me, but I can.
What if we both use very calm and natural voices and don't really overexert ourselves?
I'll try. I'll humor you. So when I talk like this, can I hear myself again? I can't hear myself again yet. But when I talk like this, can I hear myself again? No, I still can't. What? Are you muted? I like how it shows Ian making constant sound, but he's actually the only one not making sound in this conversation. Okay, I think that was a sufficient audio test for the last 30 seconds. Alright, what if I switch to this? Can you hear Austin now? Wait a second, I can't hear you. I'm supposed to be able to hear you. Hello? What's happening? Oh, dude, I need to get a different pair of headphones. Hello?
Are you guys using the same mic? Two mics going into the same computer?
No, I'm on my phone.
Oh, okay.
I'm sitting on my couch. But now I'm talking as if I were on the phone, not using my headphones.
Gotcha.
Austin, can you hear you or me?
Handy.
It's like I either have to hear you twice, or okay, now I can hear myself again. Talk quietly. Can I hear? Yeah, I can still hear myself. Yeah.
Okay, now see.
Words and stuff. And stuff and words. I can't hear myself twice, but now if you talk. Can you hear me? No, only through my actual ears. Only through my human ear holes can I hear you, Miles.
Hi.
Hello. Hello?
Austin and I are in sync with the hellos this morning.
Hell no. I like how you're completely off camera.
What's up, guys?
Hi everyone, it's podcast. This is me and the head down there. That's a person. I swear.